So welcome back to another episode, and I just want to start off by saying what an incredible year for video games. I don't think I've seen a year like this in a very long time. It's been overloaded with incredible games, and right from the beginning of the year right to now, jam-packed. I mean, I've had a hard time keeping up, but I've had fun trying, and I've really enjoyed a lot of games this year, a lot more than I thought I would. And so these are just my personal picks of the year, my favorite games in no particular order. They're kind of from the date when they were released till up to now. Tell me, guys, what are some of your favorite games from 2017? Let me know down below. I'd be very interested to see. The year began on a very interesting note. Right away, just fucking games thrown at you, and incredible AAA games, and some of them I was looking forward to, but I didn't know how they would turn out. I didn't think they would turn out as well as Horizon Zero Dawn would. And that game came out. It was the new game by Sony and Guerrilla Games. I was looking forward to it. I didn't think it would be the masterpiece that it is, and just from a graphical point of view, the game is stunning, especially running on the PS4 Pro with the HDR. I was stunned. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe how good this is. But that's just aesthetics, that's just looks. The gameplay was so engaging and so fun. Crafting in the game, something I hate in most games, was handled incredibly well. But there was also a story there that was mind-blowing. You know, for science fiction fans, this really took you to some places, and I was really moved and taken back by the story of this game. And just coming right out as a brand new franchise, it hit every chord. It really knocked it out of the park, and that was one big surprise of the year. Now, it was a return to survival horror for the Resident Evil series, and we were entering the 7th game. The 6th game got a bit of a mixed bag for reviews. The 5th game was more of an action game. People really wanted it to go back to its roots. And I was so happy to review the game earlier in the year and say, yes, this game has gone back to its roots, and it embraced a brand new first-person perspective that worked incredibly well, and it captured that feeling of old Resident Evil games, that real survival horror where you have to save your bullets and conserve your items and manipulate your items and traverse this huge house and figure out all the secrets and, you know, figure out all the puzzles. And then there was another aspect on the side, which was VR. You could play the game completely in VR. It came out just around the time of my birthday, and it totally blew me away. I was really impressed with Resident Evil 7. It was really a lot of fun. It captured Resident Evil again, like I felt the last few games hadn't, and it was really a return to survival horror. Now, both of these games came out around the same time, Neo and Shantae. I could not believe it. I'll just say for Neo, what an amazing game. This came out of nowhere for me as well. I'm like, oh, I'll try it out. And I was playing it and I'm like, oh my god, this is like Dark Souls. It's kind of like Dark Souls, and it's really difficult. And it's like feudal Japan with crazy magic and monsters and the undead. And I fell in love with the aesthetics, the gameplay. Everything about that game was really good. And then, so I went from one extreme like that to all of a sudden playing this beautiful, cutesy, platforming action game, Shantae, Half Genie Hero. This was the biggest surprise of the year. I didn't think anything was going to capture that feeling that I used to get with Wonder Boy back in the day, the Monster World series. The action-adventure kind of role-playing game, kind of going back and forth, a Metroidvania sort of game where you would open up different levels with different abilities. This game was awesome. It was awesome. The music is, for me now, I still listen to the music now, is a 10 out of 10. But the character designs, the monster designs, the level designs, everything was perfection with Shantae, and I was really thrilled. And, you know, I did my review, and the big thing is, this blew me away. The creator of Shantae reached out to me and said how thrilled he was that I loved the game so much. And I was able to fanboy back to him and say, you did an amazing job. You really captured everything that I loved in the Wonder Boy series, but you've done your own thing and it's wonderful. And Shantae obviously has a bit of a legacy, but I didn't know anything about it. I'd never played any of the legacy games. So for me to just play this brand new action adventure game, a high recommendation. I really recommend you go and check the game out or buy the game. So this year we got a brand new console, the Nintendo Switch. And it was a very hyped console, and there's a lot of debates. Is this machine going to be great? Is it going to be terrible? Everybody all over the internet was losing their shit, including myself. I was really looking forward to it. I love the idea of a console, a handheld hybrid, that I could take the console game with me on a bus. Love that idea. And here's the thing. I've said it in another video for my favorite games of all time. Little did I know, when I sat down with the Switch, that I'd be playing my new all-time favorite game of all time, Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I had no idea. I thought, oh, a new Zelda, I'll go through the paces with it. And I started to play it, and it was mesmerizing. The size and scope of the world, the expansion of the Zelda franchise into an open-world game. I've said it like 20 times this year, and I'll say it one last time. I didn't think Nintendo had it in them. They crafted a game that was open world, where you really, the more you play it, the more you understand it, the more you unlock around the world, the more you take control of the world. And Breath of the Wild knocked my socks off. To use an old-fashioned saying, I sat down and I was transported. It gave me every single thing I wanted in a video game, in an action RPG game. I kind of like to get lost in a game where I'm not really sitting in my chair, I'm in the world. And that's what this game gave to me. I sat in my huge armchair, I pushed it right next to the TV. The TV is like right here in front of me. And I was in that other world, and I loved being there. And I just enjoyed everything about it. I'll have fond memories for a lifetime. And who thought that I'd be playing my favorite video game of all time this year? I certainly didn't. Now, Square Enix dropped a game on us that we were not expecting. A sequel to the old Nier game that they released years ago. And I remember watching Pete Dorr play it back in the day, and it looked like an amazing game. Then I played it myself, and I was like, yeah, this is a pretty good game. Then they dropped Nier Automata this year. And I was completely taken back. I just come off Breath of the Wild, and I went straight into Nier Automata. And what a difference of worlds and of aesthetics and all of that. What an interesting story. The world is taken over by, sentient machines, and we send robotic machines to recover the Earth. It's really a bizarre story. It's an action RPG that completely took me by surprise. A game created by Platinum Games, and I love Platinum Games, I really do. Their action scenes are over the top. When you're doing a boss battle in Nier, it is over the top. It's this gigantic robot, and you're running up its arms, and you're throwing it down, and it's beyond reality. And I think Nier is a game that is a cult classic that did catch on. I think a lot of people said, holy shit, I better try this game out. And the game is cheap now. It's a lot cheaper. There's some Black Friday sales there. If you can get this game cheap, buy this game. Buy this game for full price. This game is really a lot of fun. The atmosphere, the level designs, the character designs are so great. The mechanical designs are brilliant. This is a very dark world, and I applaud Square Enix for creating this game with Platinum. I really think they knocked it out of the park. Now, this year there was one really anticipated JRPG. It was really anticipated. I did trailer reactions with my wife. We were both so excited for this game, and it finally launched. It was delayed, and you know what? I was completely fine it was delayed, because the end result is a game that is incredible, wonderful, and perfection. It is a real, true JRPG. And me and my wife played it. My wife took over the reins and was like, no, I'm doing this. And I just sat on the couch and became an active watcher. And this game is wonderful. It improves on everything that you've ever liked in Persona. It's a very dark, fantasy-esque world where you're in school, you're making relationships with friends, you're building your links with your personas. And what I liked about this one was the dungeon designs were really fleshed out. In past Persona games, they're more like just corridors, where in this game you could interact in these dungeons, where you could hide behind walls and surprise enemies and get the upper hand on them. That was a really cool new addition. The music is top level. I mean, I've enjoyed Persona music before, and I've loved all of this stuff, where this is equal to, if not some of the best Persona music I've ever played, and that's a gigantic compliment. It really is. And character designs, and I've said it all year long, and I'll say it again here, the style wrapped within the graphical design is something that I've never seen in a JRPG before and taken to this extent. Every menu system, even when you're just looking at your character stats, it has got such style, the way everything scrolls up and moves out of the way. It's like, it's pure poetry of graphics and design coming together, and it's gorgeous. And this game is a beautiful game. It's a very fun game. The storylines are great for every individual boss character that you have to go after in the game, leading up to the final boss encounter in the game, and also getting to know all your individual characters. It's a true, beautiful game that I'm so happy it was as good as it is, and I cannot wait in the future for Persona 6. Now, Nintendo was really doing some great stuff this year. They released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a revamped version of the game that was released on the Wii U. We have a battle mode there. We have all the extra DLC in there. And I love the game again. Just to be able to play with the battle mode with my friends. I had a great time during the review process playing with my friends, and we were just laughing and enjoying Mario Kart the way you're supposed to enjoy it. And I'll tell you another funny story. I was on my way to New York City with a great friend of mine, Baruti, and right in front of me was a family, and their son was going to the Nintendo World Championships 2017. And I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And they recognized me on the plane, so I was having a really good back and forth with them. And so they're like, oh, you got to play my son in Mario Kart. I'm like, sure, yeah, let's do that. Oh my God, I could see why this kid was going to the Nintendo World Championships. He absolutely annihilated me in Mario Kart, and I've never had a bigger smile on my face. And I was just so thrilled, and I was like, this is what makes Mario Kart so great. I'm sitting on a plane and I'm playing it wirelessly against a 9-year-old kid who's kicking my ass, and that was a really memorable thing for Mario Kart this year. I really love that, and this is going to be a fun one for me to talk about as well. I feel this is a very underappreciated game, and I did a review on it earlier in the year, and that game was ARMS on the Nintendo Switch, and I loved the game. I really did. I'm not going to do any ARMS puns because it's really too easy for me to do right now. I was like, okay, I'll give this game a shot. It really reminded me of a Dreamcast game like Power Stone, and I was playing against Victor Lucas, and we were going back and forth in the battle mode, throwing each other all over the place, and I loved the game, and I reviewed the game, and I said, this game is really a lot of fun. People will go, no, you're just saying that. It's a Nintendo game. You're a Nintendo fanboy. And I'm like, no, this is really a good game, guys. Like, and it's my final, games of 2017 I'm looking back on. And the one I'm thinking about is ARMS. It really extended itself. Sorry, I had to do one pun. It really shocked me how much I enjoyed it. It was the gameplay, the cartoony graphics, the characters were so weird and unique and strange, but it really, for some reason, captured my imagination, and it was one game I was really happy to play this year. Now, the next game I'm going to bring up hasn't arrived over here yet. It will arrive maybe 2018, and that is Dragon Quest XI. I imported the game, and I did a preview on it on my channel. Definitely check that video out, and I was like, I felt like a kid again seeing the game. It just made me feel, made me fall in love with all the reasons why I love Dragon Quest. But now we were like full high definition, and it looked gorgeous. The characters riding a horse, the environments, the open world, and all of the characters and monsters, that I've seen from past Dragon Quest games were making an appearance, obviously, once again. And I fell in love with it, and the music felt right. Everything felt right. The only thing that was against me was I didn't know the Japanese language, so I was only able to get through, I think, the first 6 or 7 hours of the game, but it's a top moment for myself of the year, and I'm so looking forward to giving my final review when the game comes out this year. Hopefully this year. They haven't announced it still. To be able to play it, and hopefully they bring out the 3DS game as well. Now, I'm going to give a fist pump here, a big fist pump, for a little game here that got reawakened in 2017 with 2 games, one of them older, one of them brand new. We'll talk about the older one first. Ys Origin is a game that's been out for a long time. It's been on Steam for a while. It came to PS4. That's the first time I played it. I fell in love with this game. You know, this is a good year, so if anybody wants an old school Ys game and they haven't played one yet, try Ys Origin on the PS4 on Steam. Incredible. It's such a good grind fest, old school graphics. Wonderful stuff. You gotta give it a go. If you've never played an Ys game, it's a really good place to start. And if you want a next generation, fully 3D Ys game, one of the most underrated, and I hate to use this term, hidden gem of the year is Ys 8. I can't believe Falcom knocked it out of the park for this one. For their first real, next generation, current platform Ys game in full 3D, they knocked it out of the park. I can't believe how well they did with this game. And I was playing the game 2 weeks early. I was so happy to NIS for sending me a review copy. And I felt like a lucky kid. I did. I really did. And I was sitting there playing it in the other room, and I'm like, I'm so lucky to be playing an Ys game that is this good in 2017, and I didn't think they could do this. And I was so happy that they did. And Adol and his companions are trapped on a deserted island, and it's about them traversing the island and surviving the island and finding out about the mysteries of the island. If you like action RPGs, I implore you, I'm telling you, I'm pointing, I'm triple pointing, I'm doing as many pointing things as I can to say, please go and support this game. I didn't play a game like this all year long, and like a good old-fashioned JRPG action game, and it was really a lot of fun. The story, the world, the mysteries. And I didn't get the good ending. I tried for it, but I was also in the review phase, so I didn't know really how to get the good ending. I finished the game and then I find out how to get the good ending. But maybe in the future I can go back. But Ys 8, give it a try on PS4. A few more games to talk about. I was so happy to review Metroid Samus Returns with Victor Lucas this year. We reviewed it by a skate park and it was a lot of fun. That was a good amount of fun playing the game and reviewing it out there in that skate park. It just felt really fun, and it kind of reminded me of being a kid again, playing a game and going to a skate park. I know that sounds funny, but the game is really excellent, and it brings you back to Metroid and all the reasons why you loved it and why you loved Metroid, Super Metroid I'm saying, as well. And it kind of got me excited about Metroid again. It had been some time since I played a truly inspired Metroid game, which this is. It's a great action platforming game where you can traverse. It's kind of the Metroidvania style game again, where you're actually going after a lot of different kinds of Metroids and you're finding different abilities and being able to traverse the world in different ways. They totally accomplished this game in an amazing way, and I loved it and I applauded them, and it just gets me more excited for Metroid Prime 4 in 2018. That is going to be a hell of a game if it comes out in 2018. I'm hoping it comes out Christmas time. That would be absolutely wonderful. Now, the year was nearly up, and we got the next generation Mario game, which was Mario Odyssey. And this game was truly a great amount of fun, and I got to do a wonderful all-nighter with a couple of my friends, Rob and Satan, and we sat up all night into the satanic hours playing Mario Odyssey when I had the review copy to try to get through the game as fast as possible so I could review it on time and give it a fair review. And it took me about 15 hours to get through the main game. And here's the thing, I'm still dying to go back through the game right now and get all those moons. This game was the return to Mario 64 for me, and I love the design, I love the aesthetics, I love the worlds, and it was wonderful. It really was a return to Mario. I couldn't believe this year. I got a Zelda, I got a Ys, I got a Mario, I got everything this year. I mean, I got Persona 5 this year. It's been an amazing year. Everything has been really good. And then the year tops off by getting another Xenoblade Chronicles game. That was incredible as well. I was sitting on my bed one night and I'm playing it and I'm like, I can't believe I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on my Nintendo Switch. And I'm thinking back to before the Nintendo Switch was announced. If you told me that I'd be doing that this Christmas, I'd be like, no, that's not going to happen in the first year. The Nintendo Switch has had an incredible first year. You know, the PlayStation 4 has had a really good year as well. And the Xbox One X has just launched as well. Some exciting times going into 2018 and beyond for that as well. Who wins this year? Who wins? We all win. This has been the year of the gamer. It really has. Think about all the games that I haven't listed. I mean, how could I list everything? There was a whole bunch of games. I'm like, I can't list everything. I would lose my voice because it's been the year of the gamer. And for me, it has been amazing to experience some of the best that the industry has had to offer. I've been the one who's been very lucky this year to be able to sit and play these games and to enjoy them. And it's been a great year for the industry. I think this year's been the best I've ever seen. Honestly, I think really for everything coming out all at once by every company, 2017 will be an incredible, memorable year for video gamers everywhere. And I'm completely privileged to have played some of these games this year. So anyways, guys, until next time.